Assalamu alaikum. This is Megan White with Wives of Jannah. One of the reasons why I named this entire community Wives of Jannah, and one of the reasons why I was inspired to create it, was because as a wife, I recognized that so much of my life was going to be spent dedicated to taking care of and serving and honoring another human being. And so as a wife, knowing that, the husband has rights over the wife and that my husband would have rights that I needed to fulfill, and vice versa, of course, that's one of the things that we talk about in all of my coaching programs and even on this page. But I wanted to have that space where we remembered that being a wife was a noble, honorable position, and to also consistently renew our intentions that this is a means of earning the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in bringing love into the world, and striving to bring the beautiful aspects of character that we talk about all the time within our community, right? Of being people of rahmah, of mercy, of having love, of having compassion, of creating places of safety. I feel like one of the most important places that this all develops is in a marriage. But I wanted it to be connected to our ultimate goal, and that is Jannah. So while there's like a million relationship programs out there on the planet, and there's a million places you can get general relationship advice, there are very few places that you're going to be reminded to renew your intention for the sake of Allah, to seek tawbah with Allah if you feel like you've done something wrong, right? To bring in our spiritual framework to love, to romance, to sex, to intimacy, to relationship building. And that is kind of the overall big picture of Wives of Jannah, to remind us as women that we are in this specific role and the ultimate goal is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to also remember that in seeking the pleasure of Allah, that our Lord is a merciful Lord, a loving Lord, a gentle Lord, and therefore nothing in Islam would ever ask us to harm ourselves, to put ourselves down, to allow ourselves to be abused or walked over or taken advantage of. So built into this message as well is that women that strive for Jannah are also strong women. We have an Islamic tradition, if we go all the way back to the time of the Prophet ﷺ, of very strong, pious, God-fearing women. We don't have examples from the wives of the Prophet ﷺ of doormat women, of women who don't stand up for themselves or express their emotions. We have a tradition of strong, informed, and educated women who also understood the importance of the marital relationship and the importance of the family life. And so with Wives of Jannah, that is part of the goal here, is for us to make a collective space where we can celebrate marriage and we can celebrate love and we can also renew our intentions for our highest purpose. Because I'm going to be honest, out there in the world, we're at a time where marriage isn't really valued anymore in a lot of places. Marriage is seen as not necessary. Marital constructs are seen as outdated. And while I would agree that there are some aspects to marital construct, in other words, the cultural framework that's brought to marriage that not only are outdated, but really are wrong and have always been wrong because Islam says otherwise, we are in a time where holding on to a marriage and valuing a marriage and being a wife isn't as prized or important as it once was. So this is also our space to reclaim the important role of being a wife and the important role of being a family, the important role of supporting another human being as he struggles, in his path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also in developing relationships and standing for and fighting for relationships where there is mercy between both people, there is love between both people, there is tranquility between both people, because that is the goal that the Quran itself gave us. So when people ask, how do you know how to answer certain questions? If you're not a scholar, how can you tell people certain things? And I say, because in the Quran itself, there is a standard for marriage. There is the overarching goal, and it's laid out plain, it's clear, it's simple for anyone. And that is that in marriage, there's supposed to be love, there's supposed to be mercy, there's supposed to be that feeling of tranquility, of coming together, of calmness and belonging between two people in marriage. That is the goal. And so every single thing that I do and all the advice that I give and all the coaching that I do with individuals and couples, the goal is to help them get back to that love and that mercy And also to understand that love, mercy, and tranquility means passion and intimacy and connection and safety. And that is what guides me. So just kind of wanted to touch base again that Wives of Jannah is here as a place for myself first, to then create after myself a place for all of us to be reminded of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of our highest goals, of our highest intentions, and to develop ourselves to be the best wives we can be, because that's a part and a slice of our overall identity as those who are servants of Allah. It is a part of who we are in our bigger picture. So when we develop ourselves as wives, when we develop ourselves as mothers, when we develop ourselves as daughters, when we develop ourselves as friends, when we develop ourselves as just members of the community in general, like you guys know, personal development I'm passionate about. When we take time to learn about ourselves, to grow, to become better people, and we do that with the right intention, then all of it is rewarded. The time that is spent, the effort that is spent, the reading, the writing, the reflecting, the journaling, the going through a program, maybe coaching, the money you invest, every single bit of it is for a greater good. It's to support you in your mission. So again, thank you so much for all of you who are here with the Wives of Jannah community. Anytime, you can always message me in my inbox if you've got something you'd like me to tackle, you have a question. You can also submit it on my website. Please utilize the current resources that I have. I've got free ebooks you can download, current programs that are always available online. And again, if you ever need anything, please do reach out. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum.